Okay, hey gay, Lord have mercy. Hi guys, this is Shorty Girl to you, or Brittany, and today I'm doing my very delayed hospital tour review. Um, it's about 10 days late because I think we went on June 28th to the hospital that I'll be delivering at based off my doctor. Um, and overall, it was really good. It started off, we were actually early because we didn't want to be late. We didn't want to be the typical, people on CP time. So we were actually early, about 30 minutes early, and we were the first people there. Um, and we all had to meet in the cafeteria. And it was kind of funny because the next couple that came after us, they were like, "Are we in the right place?" And it was kind of like people started filtering in, like, "Yep." One of the couples came in, and the potential dad was like, "Well, I guess we're in the right place because all these bellies, so I'm sure we're in the right place." So you all kind of congregated in the cafeteria. It was about, I want to say maybe 10 or 11 couples, and we ranged from I guess I want to say 4 months to maybe due. So we had various ranges, and everybody, how the meeting started off was the nurse, and she was wonderful. She was so excited, so exciting, and she didn't make it boring. And I know the information she had to give was probably normally would have been boring or dry, but she just made us, she kind of draws you in. So she's very good at what she did, and I'm happy I selected her as our tour guide. I think I'm gonna have to go in and I hope that's who I have for my, I need to look at my schedule and see if she's the one that's also doing my labor and delivery class, my birthing class. But anyway, it started off with her asking, "So how many first-time moms we have?" And surprisingly, everybody in my group was a first-time mom, so I felt comfortable with that. I wasn't a newcomer all alone. And then it was how many people were first-time dads, and everybody raised their hand but one. So she was kind of like, "Well, how many people are second-time dads?" And he raised his hand. Now remember, I told you guys all the women in there were first-time moms, but one of the dads was a second-time dad. But it was kind of funny because she was like, "Oh, so we had a repeat offender, huh?" And it kind of put him on the spot, but it was funny. Everyone kind of laughed, chuckled it away. But they gave us a package, and mine's over on the bookshelf, and I really don't feel like getting up from this spot. But you get a packet. It comes with some samples in it. Like, I have some lanolin samples for the nipple cream. I have some Eucerin petroleum jelly samples, some documents that you want to fill out. Like, we have an additional registration form that wasn't online that we can bring with us or drop off at any time for us to fill out. And he picked up quite a few of those. But we got that, and some brochures and coupons and things of that nature in our little packet. And then our tour started, and basically she showed us pretty much where labor and delivery is a separate wing to kind of keep you away from the emergency room with the sick people. And she explained it because she was like, "You want a positive experience. They have us separated from the rest of the hospital because pretty much anybody coming into the hospital on that wing is usually going to go to the emergency room, or they're sick, and we don't want to combine the two." So labor and delivery is on the second floor of the hospital. It's in its separate little area, and basically the only people who can get into the labor and delivery section are the nurses that have these little special cards that have little pink teddy bears on them, or if you're delivering or visitors of someone delivering. So random people just can't get into, you can get on the floor, but you can't get into the actual department, which is good because you don't want a random person just strolling around labor and delivery. But also the baby, one thing I did find out about our hospital, they do have a nursery, but their nursery is reserved for NICU babies pretty much. They decided that a lot of postpartum, or they did a research, excuse me, I have hiccups now. I don't have indigestion, but now I have hiccups. Anyway, So they researched a lot of issues that for women that were having postpartum, and they were saying the main thing was because the nurses were doing everything with the babies, and if the mom couldn't sleep, she'd do a call button to have the baby picked up and take it back to the nursery, or if the mom couldn't nurse, then she had the baby picked up and have the nurse do a feeding or do a bath. So when the mother got home and there was no call button for a nurse, and she's left to do this on her own, it kind of started to trigger a lot of postpartum depression because she wasn't, the mother or new mother wasn't used to doing this by herself. So what they said was, no, babies are staying with the mothers. The labor and delivery suite, I mean, is huge. It's, I don't know, when we go in there, I'm going to do a video so you guys can see it. They have a couch in there. You have some extra chairs for other people to sit on. You have obviously the bed, and then you have the baby's crib and some other thing, a shower. It's a very big room. I thought they were kind of compact. I'm thinking, how am I gonna fit 4 people, a doctor, 2 nurses in this room? I'm gonna be aggravated, but I see why. It's huge. So I'm happy about that, and I'm also happy that the baby stays with us. They tag the babies with their version of LoJack, basically. So if someone were to come pick your baby up for any reason, which the nurse said the baby should not leave your sight, they should be able to do everything they have to do to the baby, you know, in the room, unless it's a high-risk baby and they need to take the baby off, like for circumcision, which Xavier will be having. So that's probably one time that they're gonna have to come get him, because they don't allow us to see his circumcision, and they will take him off for that. And we have to check their badge and make sure they have a little pink bear on it, and they're supposed to be the ones taking him. But any babies that have, you know, they have like a band on their ankle, and it's almost like house arrest bracelet, kinda, but it's really light, so it's not bothering the babies. But anytime a baby gets close to an exit, it locks the door, and you have to be able to have a badge to get you outside of that door. Otherwise, you're not leaving labor and delivery with that baby. Every floor or every exit has, and every door has a security camera. And before you can even get into our the labor and delivery wing, they actually have you either ring the buzzer or scan your badge, your hospital bracelet, to show that you're either the father or visitor or something. And before they open the door, they snap a picture of you, so they can see who's coming and going. They know, they have a picture, so there's no stealing babies out of this hospital. So that actually made me feel really, really safe, because they care about their babies and they care about their mothers, and they're just like, they're taking all precautions to make sure those babies stay where they belong. What else? She sat, even though it was a hospital tour, we did have a moment where she sat everybody down in the labor and delivery room, one of the open rooms, and we just kind of had like a one-on-one where she talked about, well, if you come in, you're 1 centimeter, and 2 hours later you're still 1 centimeter, they're probably going to send you home. Like, they want to see at least a 1 to 3 progression cervical change within an hour if you believe you're in labor. Otherwise, they will send you home until you know, now if you progress 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 within an hour, 2 hour period, then they'll keep you. They provide hospital socks. What else should she say? Pretty much, she let us know that the experience is all ours and what we want it to be. Like, she said that one of her patients wanted to listen to Adele. She said she didn't even know who Adele was, and she played Adele from start to finish. And by the time the baby came, the nurse said she knew all the Adele songs and lyrics, and that was that woman's experience. Another lady said that she wanted to cut her own umbilical cord because her husband had cut the umbilical cord for her first 3 children, and this was going to be her last one, and she wanted to experience it. She did explain that with cutting the umbilical cord, they feel that it's best to be done after the umbilical cord stops pulsating, because she feels like, they feel at the hospital entirely, that once the baby comes out, and if the umbilical cord is still pumping, it's the umbilical cord saying, I still have this last little bit of nutrients to give to you. And then once it stops, you know, I can't do anything else for you. I've done my job and I release you to the world. And at that point, once it stops, it's saying, okay, here you go. I release you. And at that point, they cut it. And it's just the way she described it was so, I almost cried. It was so beautiful to me. So making sure that when he's born, he gets the last little bit, and then we cut his umbilical cord. You know, they said if you want to bring they allow you. You don't have to bring your own little. It's like a yoga ball, but I guess once you become pregnant, everything becomes pregnancy ball or labor ball. But basically, it's a yoga ball. They provide those if you want to, you know, kind of do the natural childbirth and wiggle them out. You can do the shower. They let you deliver in any type of position that you're comfortable in. You don't have to just do on your back. She said she had a delivery where the lady was on all fours, but her rear end wasn't facing the end of the table that it should be. It was facing the head of the table, and that's just how she felt comfortable, and that's how they did it. So the hospital is real, as long as it's safe, and the main thing is they want the mother to be as comfortable as possible. And as long as your method is safe, they have no problem in how you deliver. I actually excited to go to the hospital. I have no fear at this point about going to that hospital. I actually trust, just from the conversation that I had with the nurse in labor delivery, I feel like I can put my trust in the nurses and know that they know what they're doing. She did explain also a little bit of the epidural process. If you need pain relief, you have different types of pain relief, but the most common one that people want is the epidural. And she said, now this is something that I had a question on, because at this hospital they don't make you wait. A lot of hospitals make you wait till you're a certain period for you to, you know, certain cervical change, like 5 centimeters or more, before they'll allow you to get an epidural. She said there's nothing in the medical books that say that it's standard practice for a doctor to make a woman wait until she's 5, 6 centimeters dilated before you will administer an epidural, because everybody's pain tolerance is different. So why would you make one person who can only take whose pain tolerance is a 1, you know, to somebody, but a 6 to somebody else, wait the same amount of time to get pain relief? So they don't have a set cervical dilation where you can get your epidural. She did state that because the epidural can slow down progression in cervical change or dilation, that's why they typically wait till later, till you're outside of a 1 or 2, to make sure you're gonna go through the active labor process. But if you need it and you're a 2, she said they'll give it to you as long as you can progress, because if you stop to slow down, then they're going to administer the Pitocin, and there went your epidural. But she said you're gonna feel it, but you're gonna feel it, but not as bad as you would had you not had the epidural. But also, you know, once you get an epidural, because you are pretty much numb from the waist down, you're not gonna go to the bathroom, not gonna be able to get up and just go to the bathroom. You will be going in a bag. A little stream has been attached to you, and you'll be going in the bag. So that's just what that also. She did explain that the only thing we can eat is ice. We can have an ice and popsicle buffet up until the time that we deliver, and once we deliver, we can eat anything we want. They don't, you know, within reason. You're not bringing bottles of alcohol to the hospital, but you know, within reason, you can eat whatever you want. What else? I just like the hospital. At first, I was kind of shaky because I was like, I don't know, I've never been in this hospital before, but the vibe that I got made it all better. Let's see what else. And yeah, we did do the nursery, but again, like I said, there were no babies in the nursery, because the only time there's a baby in the nursery is if they have extreme medical conditions. Otherwise, babies stay with the mothers in the room. If you have a vaginal birth, you're in there 48 hours from the time of birth. If you have a cesarean birth, you're in the hospital 72 hours from the exact time of birth or delivery. So, which means that if you go in and you deliver at 3 a.m., you're not leaving, they're not going to discharge you until 3 a.m. 2 days later. So you may not leave the hospital in the daytime. You might be leaving early morning, depending on when your little guy came out, or little girl. What else? So I feel safe going to that particular hospital. Like I said, overall, the hospital experience for the tour was great. It kind of went from a hospital tour to, you know, labor and delivery experience 101, which I was fine with. It's really inclusive, all inclusive pretty much with the tour. It wasn't just walking through the building and, okay, this is where you deliver, this is where you recover, this is where you leave. It wasn't anything like that. So I really appreciated all the information she gave. Any questions we had, she answered our questions. You know, and I'm just really happy over the overall safety that the hospital provides to you and to the baby. So yeah, I can't wait till I actually go. We tried to record, but I didn't have enough memory on my phone, so that didn't work. But I will be recording for you guys to see when we go. It's a really nice room. It's really spacious, like I said. So I'm allowed 4 visitors, you know, in a room at a time. 4 people can be in the room at the time of delivery as well. But they do block out an hour. That's the other thing. A lot of hospitals don't really have any time where they just schedule for the mother and baby, and, you know, mother, baby, and father to bond. But in this hospital, after the baby is born, they request that the mother gets at least an hour to kind of just bond with the baby without any interruptions from visitors or anything of that nature. So whoever's in the room seeing the baby be born, we'll see the baby be born. But then they kind of will tell them, okay, we're going to have to give them about an hour so they can, you know, bond with the baby, and then you guys can come back. So I like that, because a lot of people, once your baby's born, the people are passing your baby around, and the mother really never gets to hold the baby that often, especially when you have grandparents involved. So I really like that option as well. And I like how they put the thought in for the mother and the baby. It's not just about, you know, they took it further than what, I don't know. They just kind of took the mother's feelings into labor. You work for this baby. You need to spend some time with this baby. You don't just hand it off to somebody else and have them, oh, the baby's so cute. You kind of want to look at your baby like, you know what? We did 9 months together, and I just need a moment where I can just take the moment in. And I like that they do that. I'm happy that that's one of their regulations. They did give us a list of things to bring to the hospital, things the hospital provides. So I will be doing that closer to my due date, along with my hospital bag, you know, what's in my hospital bag or what's in my diaper bag. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to bring a diaper bag with me. I think I might put some of his stuff in my hospital bag, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching again. Continue to rate, comment, and subscribe. Click that subscribe button right up top, or leave a comment below. And thank you guys for watching my hospital tour review. And stay tuned for more videos, updates, and reviews for things to come. Me and Xavier have done our last video for the night. Bye!